Is Caitlin Clark sending a message to Stephanie White, Amber Cox, Kelly Krauskopf, and the Indiana Fever? A message could be being delivered. Many people are speculating.
Welcome back to the channel, your home for the latest basketball news, major developments, and the biggest stories shaping women's basketball. Today, we're diving into a developing situation involving Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, the New York Liberty, and the wider WNBA. There are growing questions surrounding what may be happening behind the scenes, and the latest reports of fans paying very close attention. Turn on notifications, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is Clark Update. Let's break down the story. What was once dismissed as ordinary speculation has now turned into a major talking point across the basketball world. Reports are circulating that Caitlin Clark could be considering her future with the Indiana Fever, raising serious questions about the relationship between the star guard and the organization. Even more surprising are claims that the New York Liberty could potentially have interest in making a major move involving Clark. While many of these reports remain unconfirmed, the speculation has created an enormous reaction among WNBA fans. The bigger issue is what may be happening inside Indiana. Questions surrounding coaching decisions, team management, and Clark's overall situation have fueled intense debate about whether the Fever can continue building around their franchise star.
SpaghettiOs. Caitlin Clark introducing the Statue of Liberty edition, the New York Liberty edition. I already know you damn near besties with Sabrina. We think you cool with Lexi. No, you go way back with Sabrina. Caitlin Clark could be sending a message to the Indiana Fever. Hey, I might not sign that epic. Y'all pushing everybody else for MVP. Stephanie White is having tantrums every time I shoot the ball. She's falling over herself on the sidelines. I don't have to deal with this. I can go elsewhere. And I think Caitlin Clark should seriously consider going elsewhere.
If Clark's future with Indiana really is becoming uncertain, the consequences could extend far beyond one team. A move involving a player of her profile would send shockwaves throughout the WNBA and could completely reshape the league's competitive landscape. So what is actually happening behind the scenes? How much truth is there to the Liberty speculation? And could Caitlin Clark's future with the Fever really be heading toward a dramatic turning point? To understand why speculation about Caitlin Clark's future has become so intense, you have to look at the growing frustration surrounding her treatment within the Indiana Fever. For months, fans have questioned whether the coaching staff has done enough to protect and support their star player during some of the most physical moments on the court. There have been repeated incidents that sparked outrage among supporters, with Clark
has to do better, and we have to invest in those areas. The technology can get better. We can treat the referees a little bit better, pay them like they're full-time employees. I think things like that, and I think a lot has obviously come after that. And as I've stood up here and said before, like the harassment, the hate, none of that is okay. That goes for the opposing team we play. That goes for my teammates. That goes for my coaches. There should never be a question of character. Like I've always stood up here and said that, and that's truly what I believe. That's how I was raised. So, none of that is okay, and I don't want anybody to ever experience that. I think it can be really frustrating to me at times, and I think it's difficult. I think a lot of people sometimes think I'm a robot. I'm not a robot. I have emotions. I have feelings, and it can be really difficult to go through a lot of that. And I'm 24 years old trying to navigate a lot, and I think at times I've been in this world for 4 years now, and you would never change any of it. But there are times that it is hard, and there are times that it probably affects me a little bit more than I do put on, and I would never change any of that for the world. But I think it's important that people do remember that part of it too. So
appearing to absorb hard contact while questions continued about how aggressively the situation was being handled from the sideline. Many fans felt the response from the coaching staff was simply not strong enough for a player of Clark's importance. But the controversy didn't stop with physical play. Questions about her minutes, availability, and alleged medical management added another layer to the growing tension. Whenever Clark was limited or kept out of action, speculation quickly followed about whether the decisions were purely basketball-related or part of a larger organizational strategy. You can't expect a generational player to remain committed to an organization if she feels like she's being treated as a problem instead of the centerpiece of the franchise. That is why the growing speculation surrounding Caitlin Clark's future has become such a major storyline across the basketball world. Instead of creating stability around their superstar, the Indiana Fever have faced mounting criticism over coaching decisions, player management, and the way Clark has been handled. Whether every claim circulating online is accurate or not, the perception of dysfunction has created an opening that other teams could potentially exploit. With New York already established as one of the WNBA's biggest markets, any serious interest in Clark would immediately create enormous attention. Reports and online speculation have suggested that the Liberty could explore an aggressive package if circumstances ever made Clark available. A move of that magnitude could completely change the balance of power across the league. Recent comments from basketball personalities have only added fuel to the discussion. Some critics continue to argue that Clark has received excessive physical attention during games without enough protection from officials. Clips circulating online have shown instances of Clark being grabbed, hit, and knocked off balance, leading to heated debates among fans about officiating and player safety. Those concerns have also intensified criticism of the league itself. When the sport's biggest stars become involved in controversial situations, league leadership inevitably faces pressure to address the conversation. The question becomes whether the WNBA can maintain confidence in its officiating, player safety, and overall management while the spotlight continues getting brighter. For Indiana, the pressure is just as significant. The organization would have to balance the expectations of its fan base, the development of its roster, and the responsibility of keeping its most recognizable player satisfied. Any major breakdown in that relationship could have consequences far beyond one season. At the same time, speculation surrounding Clark's merchandise, her public image, and potential connections to other WNBA teams continues to generate headlines. None of that automatically confirms a trade or a departure, but it explains why fans are watching every move so closely. There are also broader questions surrounding injury updates and organizational transparency. Whenever a major player is listed as unavailable or receives limited minutes, supporters immediately begin searching for answers. That creates an environment where even routine roster decisions can become major controversies. So now the biggest question is this: can the Fever repair the relationship before the speculation becomes reality? Could Indiana make significant coaching or organizational changes in an effort to convince Clark that her future belongs in Indianapolis? Or has the situation already reached a point where another franchise could eventually take advantage? For now, no confirmed blockbuster move has been established, and much of the discussion remains speculation. But one thing is undeniable: the Caitlin Clark storyline has become bigger than a single player, a single team, or even a single season. Every new report, highlight, interview, officiating controversy, and social media debate adds another layer to the story. Indiana Fever supporters are watching closely. New York Liberty fans are paying attention. And Clark's enormous global following is waiting for the next major development. The intensity surrounding these discussions shows just how deeply fans have become invested in the future of the WNBA and the stars who are shaping its next chapter. Everyone seems to have a different prediction about where the league could be heading, and that uncertainty is exactly what keeps the conversation alive. Some supporters believe championship teams are built through patience, consistency, and strong long-term planning. Others argue that franchises sometimes have to make bold moves, take calculated risks, and completely change direction if they want to compete at the highest level. Regardless of where you stand, the growth of women's basketball is impossible to overlook. The league continues to attract more attention, its biggest stars are becoming household names, and major developments can now dominate conversations across social media, sports programs, podcasts, and fan communities. But sports have never been only about statistics and final scores. They are also about leadership, determination, teamwork, ambition, and the emotional connection between athletes and their supporters. Fans invest in players because they admire the work, sacrifice, resilience, and competitive spirit required to reach the highest level. That is why major stories involving franchise players create such passionate reactions. People aren't simply debating a transaction or a coaching decision. They are debating what they believe could shape the future of the teams and athletes they care about. At the same time, there is an important distinction between confirmed information and speculation. Rumors can spread quickly, especially when major stars are involved, but nothing should be treated as official until the players, teams, or league make a confirmed announcement. Until then, different interpretations and predictions will continue competing for attention. Fans love debating potential moves, predicting the next superstar, analyzing team chemistry, and imagining what could happen if one major decision changes the entire landscape. Every new development creates another opportunity for discussion. What do you think matters most when building a championship-caliber basketball team? Is it strong organizational leadership, elite coaching, player development, or does having a true superstar ultimately make the biggest difference? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We always enjoy seeing different perspectives, and some of the most interesting basketball conversations begin with the opinions shared by viewers. And if you enjoyed today's breakdown, make sure to hit the like button. That simple interaction helps the video reach more basketball fans and supports the channel. If you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates, discussions, and major stories from the world of basketball. Also, share this video with other fans who follow the WNBA. The more people who join the conversation, the better these discussions become. The future of women's basketball is still being written. New stars will emerge, rivalries will grow, teams will rise and fall, and unexpected storylines will continue to surprise fans. There is no telling which decision today could become the defining moment of tomorrow. So stay informed, stay engaged, and keep following the biggest developments as they unfold. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Your views, comments, likes, and support mean a lot and help keep this channel moving forward. Keep supporting basketball, keep sharing your opinions, and most importantly, keep enjoying the game. Until the next video, take care, and remember, in basketball, the next major story can happen when you least expect it. See you in the next one.